You're welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Residents of Rivers State are heading to the polls today to elect new leadership across 23 local government areas amid many legal disputes and uncertainties. A Federal High Court ruling in Abuja had nullified the State Independent Electoral Commission's preparations, barred the use of the 2023 voter register, and prevented security agencies from providing support for the election. This ruling contradicts an earlier Rivers State High Court order approving the voter register, leading to confusion over which judgment to follow. The legal challenge filed by the All Progressives Congress APC argued the voter register was outdated and should be updated at least 90 days before the election. Tensions escalated when Governor Alaye on Friday thwarted an early morning attempt by rogue police officers to seize sensitive electoral materials from RCIEC's office. The Rivers State Police Command, citing the Federal High Court ruling, has since confirmed it will not provide security for the polls. Dr. Alaye Theophilus, the factional president of the Joy Youth Council, now joins us to discuss and analyze the voting process and the key issues surrounding today's election. Good morning, Dr. Theophilus. Good to have you join us on the morning show today.
Morning, and thank you very much.
Thank you indeed. Well, today is the D-Day in Rivers State as far as the local government elections are concerned. But then, is it a D-Day for you? Do you think that the elections will proceed as Governor Fubara will, want everybody to believe? Or do you think that the interpretations here and there that are being given to the various court rulings concerning this election will have an effect on what actually happens today? What are your own expectations, and what do you think that Rivers people should look forward to today?
Rivers people, with what is happening, because I'm already here to monitor entire with what is happening currently in the local government area, is that election is going to commence peacefully, and councillors are going to emerge at the end of the day, because non-sensitive and sensitive, as we speak, distributed across all local government, and they are on their way to the polling unit. One thing about Rivers people is that they are telling the world how politically and how politically are. And counter and the counter court judgments and injunctions. The Nigerian police is one institution that we hold in high esteem. They are saying that a court judgment prescribing that a local government sacrosanct, that by virtue of the Supreme Court judgment, that before the end of this month, every local government must have elective chairman and a high court giving a judgment that election should not be held. It's to destroy our own fragile democracy. And the Rivers people have come up with their number to say that we won't allow the judiciary to kill our democracy. They are turning up in their number. If you come, that was declared the public holiday here in Rivers State, it's abiding to it. And if you come out to Rivers State, no movement, everybody gone to their exercise their franchise to see how they can bring the new council and the local government chairman that is mandate to manage their common at the level of the grassroots. I believe plus and plus to Rivers people. And this direction have also shown the position of Rivers people in terms of they understand the importance of electing elective into the local government and the mandate that is being given. That is the only way we can. So we believe everything and the election is going to don't forget, those that doesn't want the election to hold to are in their few numbers, in their own rooms, trying to see how they can send out the miscreant to go and disrupt the process. And time in Nigeria again, that you see the troublemakers in a political and the Nigerian police decide to aside instead of those that
Dr. Theophilus, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we need to take a quick break, and as soon as we return, we'll continue with the interview. Please stay with us.
Thanks for staying with us. You're welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. And we do thank you, Dr. Theophilus, for staying with us. You were making a point earlier. If you can hear me, can you hear me clearly, Dr. Theophilus?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. All right. So you were making a point before we went on that break that time, given the fact regarding it's up to those who have chosen not to participate in the election. But then the question that a lot of people are asking is that Governor Sim Fubara is of the PDP, but the PDP seems to have taken a back step, and they're saying that they are respecting the ruling of the Abuja High Court, and therefore that the election ought not to hold, and they won't be participating. People are saying that the reason why the governor seems determined to have the election held today is because his boys have moved to another party, which is APP, Action People's Party. What are your thoughts on the type of political gamble that it looks like Governor Sim Fubara is engaging in at this time? Are his days numbered in PDP, or if he succeeds with this gamble, will he have succeeded in turning around the tide, the political tide in Rivers State, as it affects him for good?
Thank you very much. You know, as the governor of Rivers State, Governor Sim Fubara is governor of all Rivers people, and not just people of PDP extraction. Then he is the leader of the party, in as much as the operations of the PDP is concerned. But you know, PDP has a working structure, which is the state schools, the national, and all the rest. If the people in the PDP extraction decide not to partake in the election, does not mean that Sim Fubara will allow the local government of Rivers State and the people of Rivers State at the grassroots level to suffer the position that is being taken by the PDP. You know, based on the Supreme Court judgment and the implementation of there is no elective local government chairman, no fund for the local government are going to be given to the state. That definitely means that if there are no elected local government chairmen to man the affairs of the 23 local government of Rivers State, that means the allocation that ought to come from the federal government to these people are going to be withheld. Who are going to suffer is Rivers people. So if a political party have decided not to partake in an election, that does not mean that the governor, who is governor of everybody, will allow Rivers people to suffer as a result of that. Even of recent, he made a clear position that he is still a member of the PDP, that it pains him that even as the leader of PDP, that his own political party is not partaking. So he's not concerned about which party emerges. His own concern is that let the election take place, let the 23 local governments have their elected local government chairmen, so that the allocation, the fund that is coming from the federal government that meant to give the people of Rivers State the needed development will go across. If it were me or you, will you allow your people to suffer just because a particular political party that you belong to doesn't want to partake in an election? The answer is no. So that is what the governor is doing. He has told everybody that irrespective of political party, the interest of Rivers people is supreme. And that is his position. He wouldn't want to make Rivers people suffer just because of his own political party, decision of his own political party. He has made it clear, and that is why you see that we really appreciate all thanks to Rivers people. They have mobilized themselves in their numbers to come out and cast their vote. And that is what we want. That is what we want. And almost every other ethnic youth organizations, they are in their numbers, trying to see how they can monitor and give situation report. With what we are getting from our situation room, materials, sensitive and non-sensitive materials has been distributed to all polling units, and in no distance time, voting will commence. That is just it.
Well, but I'm a bit worried, about the security situation. We know that the police have said they will not be providing security because they are obeying, a court ruling that was given by the Abuja Federal High Court. So I'm wondering, if there are other alternative security arrangements that have been made, because like you noted earlier, some people are not in support of this election and they might try to scuttle it.
Even with security or no security in Nigeria, political positions or elections of this nature, it is our responsibility, the responsibility of the voters to be at their polling units to protect their vote. And that is what the Rivers people have decided to do. The vigilante groups in the various communities have also positioned themselves to see how they can give alternative security. And we are also aware the court injunction that was given was only to the court judgment, according to what the Nigerian police said. It was just to them. So we are of the know that the DSS, the NSCDS, and other security agencies are working with RISEC to make sure that the election comes out successfully. But mind you, Rivers people are politically inclined group of persons, and the way they used to protect their vote at every given elections, that is the same way they are going to protect their votes in this election, irrespective of security or no security. That's a decision they have taken, and with their commitment to the direction they are going, we believe that the election is going to be peaceful, successful. Only if the other police will let those persons that are trying to enforce a court judgment. This is the first time in Nigeria history that civilians are on the go to go and enforce a court judgment. If anybody, any group of persons decide to disobey court order, it is expected for the court to take action and not those persons that got judgment. So it's so funny. Anyway, Rivers people have told the world their position, how determined they are to make sure that they vote their local government elected chairmen so that the funds that ought to give them the needed development at the grassroots level get across to them and not to impede their development as a result of political mingling here in Rivers State.
All right. Two questions from me now, Dr. Theophilus. First is to know what a specific role your factional council, the Joy Youth Council, will be playing today. Will it be the role of mobilizing your members across the 23 local government areas in Rivers State to go out and vote as Governor Sim Fubara desires, or are there other things that you are doing? My worry is that it might look like youth associations and councils like your own are being drawn into the political arena to pick between Governor Sim Fubara or former governor, now minister, Nyesom Wike. That's one question. The other one will be your assessment of the hardline position that Governor Sim Fubara is taking, particularly against the person of the Inspector General of Police. We saw him on air all through yesterday using very strong, language against the person of the Inspector General of Police, against the police command, and against the entire security apparatus of the country. Do you think that this is a smart political strategy on his part, given that he does not seem to have the backing, and the listening ears of Abuja as at this point in time?
Thank you very much. First of all, the Joy Youth Council is a pressure group. Before today, we have told our members to go out in their number to cast their vote in their various polling units. and their local government. In synergy with other youth organizations here in Rivers State, irrespective of ethnic nationality, we've met severally and we've sensitized ourselves. So we have a situation room where we are also following up the process, the election that is going on in the various local government and the polling units. We will follow the materials from the polling units to the RAC centers, from the RAC center to the point of announcement of results. That is the position we are playing as a youth council. You know, any youth council that decides to take side when political issues of this nation are playing out are youth organizations that doesn't really mean well for the masses. The reason why the IYC is of the opinion or of the direction that local government election should be conducted is because if this election does not take place, our people, Asian people here in Rivers State, are going to suffer at the local government level because funds that ought to have given them some form of development, road infrastructure, youth empowerment, are going to be seized at the federal level. So, what is there? Let them go out in their number, in our various local governments, in their unit, in their polling unit, to vote. The same way the Equatorial Youth Organization have directed their members to go out and vote. The same way the Ogoni Youth has told their members to go out in their numbers to vote. So it has nothing to do with who is standing. We are standing for democracy. Our youth organization is to see how we can defend our fragile democracy to survive and to succeed. And that is the position. We don't have what we call, or we don't understand what federal mind is. Our own is our democracy. It's our state. We must make sure that Rivers State works for us. And that is the position of Asia Youth Council. And we are not taking side on who is who. Then your second question. The institution, the Nigerian Police Force, is established to protect life and property. But we are all Nigerians. In political settings like this, you see that the Nigerian police, in so many times, take side. They are biased. In fact, with what transpired on the 3rd, the 9th, the early morning of yesterday, we as a people, we wanted to declare the Nigerian police persona non grata, that they are enemies to a Asian nation. Because this is the first time we are seeing an institution that they are using our own taxpayer money to pay, standing to trample democracy before our naked eyes. They made a statement that it is because policemen from a government house were posted to go and protect RISEC. If you are withdrawing those policemen that they posted from government house to go and protect, why are you not sending other people to RISEC? You would have left the place open. Give them the directive that they should go back to their primary place of assignment. Why sending people to go and whisk away materials meant for election for today? And this is the first time that police in Nigeria is telling you that they want to enforce court order. Can Nigerian police, if a court gives judgment that presidential election should not hold in Nigeria, enforce it? Can Nigeria police today tell you that if a court judgment comes that state government election should not hold, can they enforce it? The court judgment, to even think of, did not tell them that they should go and stop election, that they should not provide security. And the Rivers people have told them that, fine, don't provide us the security. We don't need your services anymore. We will provide the security to protect ourselves and our vote. You know, the issue we are having in Nigeria, why our democracy is so still directionless, is that institutions that ought to be independent refuse to be independent. How can an institution as important as the Nigerian police will be taking directive from a mayor appointee, a minister, to come and cause mayhem
now,
in a state as important as Rivers State?
Dr. Theophilus, I would also like us, to talk about the courts, and the role. Let's talk about the courts and the role that they've played so far, of course, with the conflicting judgment about whether the polls should go ahead or it shouldn't go ahead. Now, some analysts are worried that this same court could also be used to nullify, the results of whatever is taking place today. The courts could actually declare today's election null and void. Are you worried about this?
You see, that is why we are practicing democracy. If the court deem it fit that the election that took place today is null and void, the process will kickstart again. It is not the position of one individual to come and enforce or implement. You are not an institution. You are an individual. So why should you be worried? If the governor of the state and RISEC believe that the process can scale through, let it be. That shouldn't be his concern. Then, secondly, this is the same River State. There were court injunctions and counter-court injunctions that the PDP, ward, local government, and the state congresses should not hold. But the same FCT minister came to this state and did the ward, the local government, and the state congresses. Did anybody told him or challenge him that the project should not commence? You see, when you are seeing people that doesn't want peace, people that are deliberately trying to foment crisis in a state, we should point it clear to them. The challenges before us as Nigerians are too enormous for people to also join political crisis. Unnecessary, avoidable political crisis at this particular point in time. We are talking about hardship, economic hardship, unemployment. We are talking about collapsing infrastructure. We are talking about youth employment. And some people are concerned about creating other political crises that can heat up the polity of this country and the region. We can't fold our hands and watch those group of people. And that is why we are sensitizing the youth not to toe the path of the enemies of the state and go towards the direction of the law. Let's allow the process to commence. The same way they are challenging the PDP World Congress, local government Congress, and the state Congress in court. Let them also go and challenge the process that will bring the councillors and the local government chairman that will emerge at the end of the day. That is the position. We don't want to be biased. We don't want the Nigerian security institutions where we are using our own taxpayer money to pay to be biased and be taking side on issues of this importance and magnitude. That is the position of council. We are not here to take side. We are not here to support the governor. The governor's responsibility is that he should give directive to the RISEC to conduct an election. That he has done. So allow RISEC to carry out the process. If some group of people are not comfortable, they should approach the court and let the court give contrary judgment. And we are even of the know that a court of appeal has already stepped aside that particular judgment in question. So we are even expecting the Nigeria police today to mobilize in their numbers, to go to the polling units and give Rivers people the needed security so that the election process will go smoothly. But if they are not ready to do that, Rivers people have told them, point blank, they are going to secure themselves and the election is going to commence smoothly and successfully. That is just the position.
All right. You are aware that the local government election of today is not happening just in Rivers State. Rivers State is not the only place where local government election is holding today. Similar election is holding in Benue, in Akwa Ibom, in Jigawa, and we're not, hearing of, we're not seeing this type of rancor that characterizes the Rivers State election. Is this just about Wike and Fubara, or does it have anything to do with the rivers of trouble that Rivers State has become over time? There is hardly any time when a new government is coming or another government is consolidating itself that Rivers State has not plunged itself into some political troubles. Why is it difficult for Rivers to run smoothly, politically speaking? What are your thoughts, strictly speaking, on this?
Thank you very much. Number one, the way you are worried is the same way I'm worried. Akwa Ibom State, just a neighboring state here, is having their local government elections. And there is no story, in fact, no talk. That is the state that we have the current Senate president, which is an opposition party from the APC extraction. Benue, as you said, the same thing. despite the fact that the SGF is having issues with the governor of a state, you cannot hear any political turmoil in those states. But here in Rivers State, some people just believe that they are above the law. What's happening today is not different from what has been happening before. But one thing that we have come to realize, and one thing that you need to understand, is that Rivers people are politically inclined. You cannot suppress their position. And that is why you see that anytime issues are happening, they always stand with their governor. And that is why you see that federal mind does not have a say when you come to Rivers State. Because we have over 90% of Rivers people that are politically inclined, and they know their position and how to go about political issues of this nation. Had it been Rivers State is like some other states where people are not really inclined in political happenings, you would have seen that maybe 50% of the people would have been with those that want Rivers State to be in crisis so that state of emergency will be declared. But Rivers people, with their understanding, believe that some persons don't just want Rivers State to work. So they have positioned themselves in the direction of the governor. And that is why you see that even the local government election that some persons believe that will not get through is going on seamlessly. All the polling units, everything is going on seamlessly, and Rivers State is not actually the river of crisis, but it's a very peaceful place. It's rivers of natural resources and blessing where everybody can come in, very accommodating state. But we wouldn't allow those few group of persons that want to paint the state in black and in bad image before committee of states. But we will make them understand that Rivers State is a peaceful place, a loving place for everyone to come in. That is just the position of things.
Well, Dr. Theophilus, I really enjoy and I like your optimism. Well, earlier, you talked about those who are not satisfied with the process going back to courts, to challenge the whole process, that's the beauty of democracy. But then ultimately, it means that it is the courts that decide the outcome of elections here in Nigeria. For how long are we going to continue like that? Is that really democracy when it is the court that actually decides who wins an election?
That is the reason why sometimes some of us agitate for constitutional review. It is enshrined in the Constitution that if you are not comfortable, that go to court and the court is going to interpret as the place of the last hope of the common man. It is not by my doing. If it were just by myself, I wouldn't even want issues of this nature. But court judges given injunctions,
Dr. Theophilus,
counter-injunction and all the rest.
Dr. Theophilus.
I can hear you.
Yeah, please, we'll need you to hang on. Yeah, we'll need you to hang on a bit while we'll link up with our correspondent in Rivers State, Theophilus Agide, just to give us what's going on there. We'll come back to you. You're still in the studio with us. So we are now being joined by our rights correspondent, Theophilus Agide, for updates on the Rivers State local government elections. Good morning, Theophilus. Please bring us up to speed as to what is happening where you are right now. Identify where you are and what can you see will the elections hold?
How do we get audio now? I'm not getting any audio.
Can you hear me, Theophilus?
I'm not getting any audio now.
All right, we'll go back to Theophilus. I think we have two Theophiluses, one on the ground and one in the studio. But we'll be back with Theophilus Agide, our correspondent. But back to you, Dr. Theophilus, in the studio there. We'll still go back to your namesake, but he's about to give us a situation report as to what is happening. But you have your optimism regarding the situation room that you made reference to, that things will proceed smoothly and the rivers of crisis today will be rivers of hope and, and natural resources. Why are you so optimistic? Why are you optimistic?
Because, the position of the majority is what will definitely play out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Majority of Rivers people want the local government election to take place. They have already mobilized themselves from even Port Harcourt, the state capital, to their various communities and their polling units. And as we speak, sensitive and non-sensitive materials has already been distributed. The people are there to cast their vote, protect their vote, to see that their councillor and chairman emerges. So it's not by my doing. And with the report we are getting both from the Ogoni axis, from the Kwere axis, from the Joy extraction, from even Ishe, that materials has been distributed and everything is going on seamlessly. So I'm optimistic that everything will play out very fine. And those few group of persons that want to cause mayhem, they might end up being apprehended by Rivers people by themselves. Since the security doesn't want to come and apprehend them, Rivers people, the voters will apprehend them. Anyone find wanting in any of the polling units, they will be tied down, and we will hand them over to the appropriate security quarters for necessary actions. Rivers State.
Are you expecting
this
that?
This is not like some places.
Dr. Alaye Theophilus, are you expecting that some people will cause trouble today?
No. In every situation, there are in-house enemies. Those that doesn't want Rivers State to succeed, they will definitely make an attempt. But the people have already prepared themselves that such attempts are going to be countered. So some of them might end up being tied down and will be handed over to the appropriate security quarters for
when you say tie down,
necessary actions.
When you say tie down, what do you mean by tie down? How would they be tied down? If anybody is apprehended at all.
In a polling unit, where let me explain. In a polling unit where you have over 1,000 persons going to vote, and you are two in number, trying to go and take away a ballot box that materials has been casting, the 1,000 will definitely overpower you. You can't run above 1,000 persons. So if the 1,000 catch you, they hold you down, and somebody pull his T-shirt, another person pull his trouser, they must definitely use those materials to tie you down and hand you over to the necessary security. That's that people, they are observant.
All right.
The people of Rivers State are vigilant.
All right.
That is just the position of things.
Okay, Dr. Theophilus, just a moment, please, while we rejoin Theophilus Agide, correspondent who is on the ground. Theophilus, can you hear me now?
I can hear you very loud and clear, Spiff, and I believe Temi Tokba is there on the other hand.
Yes,
a great morning to you guys.
Good morning. All right, what is happening there?
Yeah,
bring us up to speed as to what is happening in Port Harcourt. I believe that you're in Port Harcourt at the moment. What are your expectations? What have you observed? And will the elections proceed? Oh, you are not in Port Harcourt.
Actually,
where are you? Yeah, go on.
No, I'm in Degema, Harristown now.
Okay.
I'm in Degema, Harristown. I'm presently right now in Ward 14, Unit 6. And from what I've observed so far, the enthusiasm of the people here, the electorate here, is very, very high. This is Obuoma, also known as Harristown. It's a town that has history of a lot of colonial activities. So expectedly, the literacy rates and the political awareness of the people in this local government, in this place is very, very high. From what I gathered, about 3 political parties have their presence here in this Obuama community, which is also known as Harristown. And they are the APP, the YPP, that's the Young People's Party, and we also have the APGA. We also hear that there has been some kind of political alignment here, which has made them to hand over. They are ready to support a particular candidate, and this will, in a lot of ways, determine the outcome of the election here.
So, Theophilus, what is the voter turnout like, especially considering the fact that the police will not be providing security for this election?
Well, right now, I can't really say for that. because right now as we speak, where I am is currently close to the dispersal unit. That I mean the area where the materials for the elections will be taken from there and will be dispersed to the various polling units. But for now, we have not seen that. We have not seen the materials. This is, like I said, it's supposed to be a polling unit, but right now we have not seen any election materials, nor the officials who will be conducting the elections in this polling unit.
All right, Theophilus, when you say that you could observe political alignments, are you talking of alignments involving the three political parties on ground, the APP, the YPP, and ABGA, or are you talking about the expected 17 political parties that were meant to participate today, and who are they aligning behind?
I'm speaking for what is happening here in Aristown, and for this place, the political stakeholders here, from what I've gathered, have decided to hand over. They have decided to support the candidates of the APP, and this will, in a lot of ways, if it's going to be that, it's going to determine the outcome of the elections here. This in Degema, in Aristown, Degema.
Are you talking about the parties that won't be running, that you can't see their presence there yet, or you're talking about YPP and ABGA supporting APP? Be clear. Let's be clear about the sort of alignment that we're talking about. Yeah. Go on.
Yes. What I'm saying in essence here is that from the political alignment which I've gathered, it has translated to a level where the other political parties have decided to drop their presence, their visibility, so that the candidates of the All Progressives, the All People's Party's candidates will emerge without, any challenge from what I've gathered.
Action People's Party, you mean?
Like I said earlier, in the outcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Actions People Party.
Now, you talked about where you are supposed to be, that it's supposed to be a polling unit, but you said so far the officials are not around and there are no voters there. Can you tell us when voting is likely to start, or is voting not going to be taking place where you are?
I cannot say for now, because ordinarily, by going by the election timetable and how election is done, by 8:30 we are supposed to have the presence of electoral officials here, but that has not been seen. And right now, going by what we are seeing on the ground, we are really not sure when this election is going to start, or even when they are going to arrive.
All right. What have you observed so far in terms of security? There has been a lot of back and forth as to what role the Nigerian police will play or will not play. Have you noticed any presence of the Nigerian police force or any other alternative security personnel as far as security is concerned?
Really, I have not seen any security personnel of the Nigerian police force, or neither any of their sister agencies. Right, but however, the place is peaceful and people are going about their businesses normally, and that's just the way. The place is peaceful, but I've not seen any member of the Nigerian security or any of the security personnel agencies who are here.
All right, Theophilus Agide, we'll come back to you while we go back to Dr. Alaye Theophilus, who has been giving us his views on what to expect today in Rivers State. So, Dr. Theophilus, good to be back with you. I hope that you were able to get a few of the things that our correspondent said there. Iris Town, yes, where he is, he says that 3 political parties are on ground, but he hasn't seen any indication that election will proceed, and that there is no, he has not cited any security personnel, particularly the Nigerian police, and that there is a kind of alignment that seems to favor the APP, which a lot of people believe that is where the eyes of the governor is. What are your thoughts so far on what our own Theophilus has observed this morning?
Thank you very much. You know, it's not far from what we are observing. You know, it all depends on the location that he is. Election materials does not get to polling units simultaneously at the same time. Maybe his location is a bit far from the local government headquarters where these materials have been dispersed. So with the information we are gathering, all materials for this election at the local government level has already been dispersed. They are on their way to their various polling units. Secondly, the Nigerian police is not expected to be seen in those polling units because they are not partaking in the election. So we don't expect them. It is the people's security that is providing security for this election. And the DSS, if the DSS is present here, they will not identify, they will not indicate themselves as a result of the nature of their job. And those areas that they believe that the security is highly tense, maybe they might see the Nigerian civil defense. So everything, according to the report I'm gathering from my own situation room, is what is really playing out. But we believe that the election is definitely going to take place peacefully, and there are going to be winners at the end of the day.
Now, earlier you talked about an appeal court, ruling saying that the police should participate in this election. I'd like you to tell us a bit more about that. And then you were talking to us earlier about the courts ultimately deciding who wins an election and what effect that has on our democracy. Please, I'd like you to respond on the two issues.
Okay. On the areas of the appeal, I heard this morning before I came out from a reliable source that appeal court has set aside the high court judgment that the police said mandated them not to partake in the election and also not to allow the election to hold, because the situation, the way the Nigerian police were trying to infiltrate the entire process was like as if they wanted to come and enforce a court judgment that the election should not hold. But that wasn't the court judgment. The court judgment clearly stated that they should not provide security. And the Rivers people have said that we don't need your security. That I got from a reliable source this morning, that late last night, that appeal court have set aside that particular judgment. Then on the other issue, where we go to the court to get a final declaration of who emerges, those are things that are enshrined in the Constitution. And that is why we are saying that the 1999 Constitution should be set aside and let the People Constitution be redrafted. Because majority of things that are contained in the 1999 Constitution are not favorable to the Nigerian democracy, federal system of democracy that we ought to practice. And those are some of the reasons why you see that the power that is at the center is too enormous. So the center now dictates almost everything that happens in this country, to the point that it was just 2 years ago or just a year ago that even power generation was taken away from the concurrent, from the exclusive list to the concurrent. So those are some of the challenges we are having. Having been, there are other means through which we will decide final election outcome, where people are going to become, in Bayelsa State, a day to the swearing of governor-elect, Supreme Court give another judgment, pre-election matter, that the deputy governor has multiple names, and somebody that have gotten the mandate of the electorate was set aside, and someone that did not get the majority vote from the masses was sworn in. Those things affect development. So what we have to say is that if there are ways that we will see how we can do without the judiciary on electoral matter, the better for us. But as Nigerians, we can sit and devise a means out. I believe it's not out of place, and we can get that done as a people, collectively, not selectively.
All right, Dr. Alaye Theophilus, we haven't heard anything about the Court of Appeal ruling that you mentioned, but at least we're aware that the Nigerian Bar Association has taken a position on what is happening in Rivers State, and they think that the police should not cherry pick as to how the election will be conducted. But we want to thank you for your time with us this morning, giving the insight into what is happening and into what might likely happen today. But we'd like to release you now so that you can at least go and join the local government election process that you have spoken so beautifully about. Thank you so much for joining us on The Morning Show.